I don't know how to deal with car people at all. Well, anyways, is that even my fault? Mm-hmm.
what does stable prices mean, right? The stable prices mean here per day. So ever since early 2023, CNBC 2023,
freaking product, so it's nothing fun about the product. But Zoom does all the improvement based on what you need to buy. Purple, which I really like, the Tether Team Purple.
I like the teal green rather than the neon green.
Here we go. Okay. I'm sure most of y'all already know by now, but we're okay. Here.
Never happened.
She enjoys playing golf with Donald and often participates.
I think sometime in February.
I have to get it back, and then it's so bad. And then see which one it is, and then I have to call them and arrange a date to go drop off my car. Be actually busy like every day. I'm in like public, and I'm just like hopping in and out from the passenger side door.
Looking real good.
I know.
I swear I didn't jack this car.
Okay. This was not that good. This was.
To focus on work, especially when I knew that I knew spend your time with. And towards the end of, but now I really don't take any movement because, like I said, but you also have to understand that sometimes we need.
It wouldn't make sense to like have insurance and then get hit by a deer, unforeseen circumstance, and then not use it. It kind of defeats the purpose of insurance, right?
There's like 6,000 people that hold the.
Yeah, that was another one someone suggested. Really excessive. Like, well, sorry. That's not bad. I mean, I guess we should be decent.
친구도 원래 별로 없고 그러다가
이런 날씨엔 체육복이
우리 실장도
그쪽으로 앉아.
Oh my god.
Well, hopefully, if he has time, meteors while collecting the meteor shard
Can make it easy.
to make it very easy to make games.